was locked in.
I don't want to hear it.
I think I should probably tell you because I think you'll really, really like it. It was Aatrox, or Aatrox, or Aatrox, depending on which day of the week it is for good old LS. It was Lee Sin in the jungle, it was Syndra in the mid lane, and Varus Tahm-Kench. That was our first roster lock. That was our first team comp lock.
Get out of here.
I know. It was not great times. Let's see whether this is going to be better times. There's an Aurelion Soul ban, and that is certainly fun. Scarlet going to have that taken away from him. Most of what I saw Scarlet playing in solo queue when I checked him out was Yasuo, but being a little bit of a legacy Aurelion Soul player means that BDD is just going to get rid of it. BDD also an Aurelion Soul player himself, but we saw Kuro back on an old favorite of his yesterday. I believe Lucian has been banned every single game so far this tournament.
Yeah, it makes me really sad to see Lucian getting the priority bans focused at him, especially because he has so many abusable weaknesses. He is able to be triflexed, top, mid, and AD. The ban I really, really do like to see, and it does suggest that there is progression going on, is the Syndra ban. She's a champion that, in theory, can be actually flexed to all 5 roles, even if we...
Are we jungling her? Are we just taking that unsealed spellbook and putting her in the jungle, LS? Is that what you're talking about?
No, Dark Harvest.
Oh, yeah.
LEC. Just wait for Syndra. Okay?
All right.
She's coming.
All right.
Maybe not to LCK or LCS. But you're
LEC's going to do it?
LEC's going to do it.
Yanko's going to do it? He's going to bring it out? Well, that was Bard that was hovered for a little while. We've got Akali that makes it through for one of the first times here. Rascal, BDD, both of them very, very powerful Akali players. Probably something that you wouldn't have wanted to leave up, as that is Thresh and Varus hovered. Siva, because of course we are on 9.24B, she got a slight base damage upgrade, LS.
Beautiful.
Certainly got all of that information from LS's beautiful patch rundown. She is uber buffed. Not going to be picked, though, as... the Ezreal has been locked away here. Sung, you're going to grab that one for Shark. And this is the first Ezreal we've seen so far for this tournament. Senna taken away here. And we mentioned the fact... Oh, no. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thomas is in. Life, of course. He likes his Thomas, but we know him as probably the best Gragas support in the LCK.
Yeah.
And Gragas would be fine.
Well...
But here's the favorite for good old Scarlet. And he is going to lock away... Nope. It's going to be the Veigar.
It's going to be the Veigar, and the Veigar, interestingly enough, he's walking into the Tahm-Kench, but it is really good here against the Senna and the Akali. The thing that's most interesting is that they opted into locking the Ezreal down, and they also blinded the Thresh, even though there's a lot of Thresh's counters that are up and available. And the other thing is that thematically, the Ezreal isn't particularly that good against the Akali, which just makes it an extremely strange lock-in. So they round out so far here with Veigar on the final pick here before we go into the secondary ban phase. And now they're banning away Aatrox, which is actually a champion that Veigar would love to invite in to the event horizon.
Yeah.
More short-range champions, more champions that need to be upfront in your face, especially that's another champion that Ezreal can kite for days. He's almost immortal to it. And so it's really weird to see GCA banning against themselves. It's truly impressive.
They could almost pick it up. Like, Slugger could play it. Of course, Slugger, he's a Mordekaiser main, so he just wants to grab that after this next ban. I wouldn't be surprised if it was banned away at this point right now. Mordekaiser very, very strong on 9.24B, but it's Gangplank first, then Rek'Sai taken off the board. What did we decide to call Rek'Sai? What's her name?
Regina.
Regina.
Regina,
okay, there
yes.
we go. Veigar, what are we going with that? We should probably do it in-game. We'll do it in-game.
Yeah, we should do that in-game.
We'll save the quality content here, as that's a Jinx locked in. So we've got things changing up just a little bit.
I'm wondering if that's Ezreal jungle.
I mean, that's been a thing for seasons
that was
seasons,
something,
you know?
A very long time ago. I'm sorry, you said this is the patch that Ezreal has his AD ratio buff on Q.
Yeah, Mystic shot buff, yep.
Mystic shot buff. I don't know if that's enough to bring Ezreal jungle back.
Oh, but this could mean so many things. This Gen.G roster can flex absolutely everywhere. I'm so excited. I want Thomas in the top lane.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
And now there's a Graves. So this is quick draw buff patch as well. So theoretically, Graves feels a little bit better, but that's going to be your jungler. We've got 380 carries. We've got Vivi. in the mid lane, and we've got Thrench on the bottom side of the map. So GC Busan Ascension, if they've done anything, they've innovated. They've made some changes, and things are looking fun. But on the side of Gen.G, they've got a hell of a lot of options as well. Cleared back to a favorite of his in the Gragas, and BDD going to be taking that Kiana to the mid lane. Rascal on his favorite Akali on the top side of the map. Could potentially be abused by the Ezreal, given that range advantage and Ezreal's slipperiness.
Yeah, so Ezreal going into the top lane, I'm wondering if he's actually going to be an AP variant rather than just an AD, and that's why they opted for the Graves to be the physical damage jungler coming in. But the Veigar does answer almost every single member on Gen.G, but he does actually have to take into consideration the Tahm Kench. Outside of that, though, there's so much scaling on GCA's team composition, and if this game can make it past the mid-game point, things should get dangerous for Gen.G. Whether or not that's actually going to mean anything due to what I think most people would assume is a team discrepancy in terms of skill level, I don't really know, but it is something to point out.
Not to mention the mid-game power spikes coming out from Gen.G with this squad, and they're all assassins, and there's only a Thresh for any sort of defensiveness apart from the event horizon. Like, this game ticks over 17 minutes, and there are so many members of Gen.G that can just one-shot GCA. But here we are, game number 1 of Christmas Day, Gen.G versus GCA. Do we want to do the fan chants? Do you want to do fan chants?
Okay.
Gen.G, 하나, 둘, 셋. Gen.G, fighting. No? No? He's not getting there? This is LS trying to get the microphone around the room right now.
We can make this just like we're in LoL Park.
Uh-huh.
Okay, ready? We'll do Gen.G.
No, we just did Gen.G.
Okay.
That's done. That was a terrible performance. You got GCA. Let's make up for it.
Go ahead.
GCA, 하나, 둘, 셋.
GCA fighting.
Nailed it. There you go.
That's just like we're in LoL Park.
Yeah,
the one person.
The one guy that came for GCA.
There you go.
Probably should have been a few more for Gen.G earlier on. Let's get to the game. Let's have a look at what's going on here as we've got Gen.G preparing for a potential GCA invade that is not going to come. They've just gone for the 5-point defense system, moving their bottom lane all the way down immediately and allowing Graves to start off on his Brambleback by himself. Because, of course, he can do that. Kiting camps is something that Graves is pretty good at.
Yeah. He's basically immortal inside of the jungle. He doesn't really take any damage. Interesting to note, he is going Electrocute, so we'll have to see. Well, this is most likely going to be the Lethality Graves. There is the variant where he can go for the crit Graves by going Storm Razor due to the itemization change. He has a very, very nice build path into crit Graves with the Storm Razor. Just gives him really nice recalls, early access to everything that he ideally would want, and a lot of skirmishing potential. So probably going to opt into Lethality, like we just mentioned. Cleanse on the Kiana with the Electrocute, but again, eyes need to be on Gen.G in the early and mid-game. Clid needs to make things happen because a lot of these lanes aren't really all that favorable, and with the scaling advantage going to GCA, things obviously get ugly. But I got to be a little bit honest here, Atlas. The Graves is not kiting too well.
No, I mean, he's losing. The immortality that you're talking about is only half true, given his health bar being at about half.
I guess he does have double potion. I am lost sight, so it's a little hard for me to see the number 2 on the monitor.
Oh, and look at this. It's Omni Stone Slugger on his Ezreal top side of the map. I love it. Look at that. Omni Stone a little bit smarter on this patch. Now he's going to give you stuff based on what's happening and what you want, and not just giving you random things over and over again. And of course, when it comes to Kleptomancy champions, it is an option. As there's the Piercing Darkness on the bottom side. Ruler just giving some damage across, but it's a relatively even trade there for bottom laners, despite Senna being very healthy.
Just a short trade going out here down in bot lane. Neither are really accomplishing anything, though, so you have to wonder, if you're Tahm Kench and Senna right now, what are you trying to achieve? You have the teleport on Senna. You're not actively looking to fight. And the lane's already reached a state where Jinx and Thresh don't have to fight you if they don't want to. And so this giant buildup of a wave and slow push is definitely a little bit confusing. They're going to find out where Graves is now. Whoa.
Scarlet's not having a great time. maybe go back to StarCraft.
What?
Scarlet?
Oh, the player, the
Yes.
Zerg player.
Yeah, there we go.
Haha.
See what I did there?
I missed
It
you.
would have been better if there was like a Cho'Gath or something like that, a relatively Zergy champion.
Yeah,
that would have been
Charles.
more funny. I should have gone. I should have waited until he picked mid Cho'Gath before making that joke. I
So-
apologize.
It's okay. We can name the champions though.
Okay, let's
All right.
let's go through and do that. What are you going to call Jinx?
Jessica.
Jessica?
Jessica.
Okay, I like that one.
All right.
I like that one.
Okay.
Thomas is Thomas. We know that.
No, he's Tim.
Tim?
Tim.
So Thomas Kench is Tim.
Yes. It's an alias.
I don't want to play this game anymore. I don't like it. That was the one obvious one. That was the one I knew.
No, it's Tim.
Oh, what a disaster.
It's
All right, Ezreal then.
Ezreal?
Yeah.
Eugene.
Oh,
Yeah, you weren't expecting
I
that
really
one.
like that one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Let's stick in the top lane. Akali.
Adele.
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 Beautiful singing voice.
Yeah, hello. You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, not at all. Let the sky fall, my friend. All right. Let's go to the jungle.
Yeah, someone like you.
Gragas. What's Gragas's name?
Ooh. Greg.
Greg?
Greg.
Greg the Grag. I
Yeah,
like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Graves? We're sticking with the G's here.
Ooh, this is a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it has to be Gavin. Can it be
Ooh,
Gavin?
I like that. Yeah, Gavin. Gavin's a good one. My brother's name is Gavin.
Really?
Yeah. But we have
almost dead.
a fight that's about to here come here.
Yeah,
Well, here he
Clint's
comes.
boosting into the bottom lane. BDD flashes over. First blood. So easy. Shark now at about 100 health under the turret. But how safe is it under there with 4 hungry members of Gen.G hanging around, just waiting for this minion wave? They have a teleport if they want one as well. Okay, Ruler is actually going to flash, but he's still no, he's not going to die. Gets devoured. The Jinx goes down. It was a whoopsie, but Devour is still so strong. This is why Tim is picked in the bottom side of the map, or Sir Thomas Kench, depending on what you want to call him today. Piercing Darkness not going to be enough there as Ruler picks up a Dark Harvest stack at least. He wants level 6 to be able to throw out that ultimate, but it is not quite the Dawnbreaker's, what is it, Shadow of the Dawn or something like that? It's a Dawn Shadow type move. I'll have to work that one out as Gen.G do back away, but it is going to be 2 kills down there and already a pretty big lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it's absolutely horrendous now, the current game state that GCA are going to find themselves in. You can even see Clid. He has the option to actually go on to Jinx right away, doesn't elect to take it. And then at this point, they're just biding their time, waiting for the minion wave to come up, and we're just actually going to cut the replay short as we go to the Akali in a 1-on-2.
Yep.
Flashing away, try to go into the alcoves, dealing as much damage as possible.
But is able to actually get the 1-for-1 trade in that 1 versus 2 scenario. So nicely done there as another W is going to land. BDD dives on forward, gets the ult, gets the stun, and now Execute could be in trouble. Piercing Darkness, not quite enough damage. As Ruler's going to pull back, grab these minions, and this is just going all Gen.G's way. Despite Rascal losing his life, it was still fantastic work to be able to pick up that kill onto Slugger, and has his teleport to get back to that lane whenever he wants to, but not going to. Going to move down towards bottom side and just answer the lane swap.
And it is really interesting to note that GCA were aware of the situation inside of the game. They weren't going to achieve anything in the bottom lane anymore, so they tried to initiate a lane swap and try to get a leg up and just concede the initial Clown Dragon. But what ended up happening up in top lane is they lose out on it. Now they're losing out on the bottom side of the map. They lost the Cloud Dragon as well, and they're just hemorrhaging at literally every single point in the game right now.
Yep, and Ruler is just safely underneath his turret at the moment. Has himself a ward there, so will spot Sangyu moving over, and Life is going to get up here. But 4 versus 2 is going to mean that Ruler gives away position and will give away this plate as well, top side of the map. Rascal, though, is capitalizing bottom side. There are 3 plates left, and can probably pick one of them up before anyone makes it down there. No teleports available, and no one even in the immediate vicinity. This is GCA certainly committing extremely hard for this top outer turret that they shouldn't be able to get right here. And of course, with turrets having that extra defensiveness as well, especially considering the amount of champions that are close by, it's going to mean that's very difficult to take down.
I mean, the other thing about this is the change to shared XP, but then also in addition to that, the turret plates got nerfed. They don't give as much gold as they used to. So this is it's a questionable decision.
Well, they're also trading evenly when it comes to the turret plates anyway, so it's a bit of a disaster given the fact that bottom lane is just being soloed down by Rascal. He's probably faster at killing that turret as well because there's no one there to try and defend, and he's there solo, so of course you're not going to get all of those defenses, and as you can see, this is going to be the second last plate taken very comfortably. We'll only grab that 120 gold, but 120 is still about half a kill.
And I mean, the thing about this as well is that the level or an XP advantage is being obtained throughout the game so far in Gen.G's favor is one of the advantages that GCA, they're going to feel in upcoming team fights, especially because the Infernal Dragon's coming up. I mean, we're getting a quick replay of this skirmish up here in top lane. Obviously, Rascal shouldn't flash away, but he probably thought he could deal a little bit more damage, and then maybe Ruler could come in and pick up a kill on his teleport. But as it stands in the current game, Gen.G, they should just be completely content to play ping pong with the lanes, get the Rift Herald, wait until the Infernal Dragon comes up. They're going to get that for themselves as well. And they're perfectly set up to just have a very explosive mid-game with the size advantage that they've already accrued so far.
Not to mention the fact that that's what their composition wants. It wants the mid-game, and it just wants to be able to fight around there. And they are certainly on their way. 3,000 gold, currently the lead, and it's almost like the mid-game doesn't even need to get here, as they are just straight up winning regardless. We've got Hextech Gunblade already completed for the Akali. She is online. One Serrated Dirk is done. Newly buffed Serrated Dirk, despite the missing Headhunter passive, as now that's the snare. Landing onto the Graves, Abyssal Voyage right into the middle. Teleports coming in as well. Huge cask into the back line as Sangyu is going to go down first. Slugger now in trouble, and there's the ultimate that flies through from Ruler. Pretty difficult to dodge that one as now Scarlet, 5-point strike, not enough damage. But Clit is able to take down the Ezreal despite being very, very low, and Gen.G just wiped the floor with GCA.
Yeah, so, I mean, in game number 2, GCA, they're going to have to think about if they're going to want to draft another type of team composition like this, because this game is over. Okay, Atlas.
I think that maybe they do not want to, do that one
This
again.
is one of those fantasy GG timings. Do you know what that is?
Fantasy GG? What? What do you mean?
From StarCraft 1. He would never leave.
Oh, no.
The pro player, he would never leave the game. Yeah.
Sorry, when you said fantasy GG, I'm like, it's like a GG in a fantasy world? I don't understand.
No.
But yeah, no, I do remember that.
That's fine.
I do remember that. Are there like rules against that now or something like that?
I think that you can't surrender unless it...
I'm talking about in StarCraft. Like, the GG timings, I thought, like, because I haven't seen any fantasy GG moments at all, like, watching competitive StarCraft these days.
Well, I wouldn't know lately, but we can take a look at the replay first, as we're going to see GCA making a pretty interesting decision. They're really investing into this. This is definitely a questionable decision. Abyssal Voyage delivering Gragas, and that is a whole lot of man right into the middle of the team fight.
Oh,
Supreme
the
display of
Wombo
talent
combo
right there.
as well.
Massive Wombo combo, but GCA, they have no business doing what they're doing. There's absolutely no reason to be pushing the top tier one turret.
The four-man siege?
I mean,
you don't
mind
like
control. Trust me, I saw enough of it at Worlds. All right, so it's truly an impressive skill.
Comfortably just bouncing around this mid lane, clearing wave after wave. 5-0-0 is the Kiana's scoreline. That sounds dangerous. We're going to get our eyes on our first elemental rift of the day. Could be a mountain, could be an ocean. It's going to be an ocean. So let's have a look at those pretty flowers as this tower does eventually go down. But are GCA actually going to be able to get anything for it as Sangyu is slowed down? Another supreme display of talent. Good flash, but not enough as the audacity of the Kiana takes down the Viger. All right, there's the Dawning Shadow. Does negative damage, considering the heal that came out as Slugger has to get out of there. Oh, the backflip lands, and Rascal with the solo kill very comfortably. Bottom side of the map. How did he thread that shuriken through those minions? I will never know, but hopefully we can find out in the replays. 6,000 gold is the lead, and as you mentioned, LS, this game is over.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like Gen.G versus Dynamic Q. That is exactly
no,
what's
team
going on
dynamics
here.
come up in the next
In
match.
GCA, I mean, they did a really impressive thing. They managed to actually queue for ARAM and locate it in the top lane this game, which
it's
I
like
thought
Tay-Ram.
was that was
Tay-Ram.
Wait, it was impressive.
A-Rat. It's A-Rat. Yeah. I don't know where the acronyms were.
You know what?
apparently.
Right now they're from Busan, and right now they're up in Seoul. That's why they went to top lane.
Ah, it's all a little
That's
bit
where
upside down. It's like
we're
me.
doing
when
a
in the
geography lesson right
Northern
now.
Hemisphere, I'm
I'm
all
trying
confused.
to teach you things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm used to Christmas that's really, really hot. And now I'm in Seoul and it's freezing. Like, what's going on? So, yeah. Yep. This is going to be a rough one for GCA to come back in.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so he went in there, he pressed the R, and then he pressed the Q, and then the W,
Wait for this.
and then Vigar pressed the D, and then Ruler pressed, or not Ruler,
BDD?
pressed the Q.
And I actually thought that he killed him with his EBD, didn't he?
I'm
It
a
was
color
just
caster,
Q.
by the way.
Yeah, it was just a Q.
Thank you.
You know, I thought it was beautiful. The button pressing, lots of different buttons. You identified which buttons were being pressed and explained exactly what happened. That's what an analyst's job is.
Exactly.
You're on top of it. Haven't lost anything in the off season.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, just absolute perfection. In fact, you've probably been grinding at your analytical skills. Am I right? That's what you've been doing this whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like me, who's just been playing Pokemon.
No. Oh, are you still playing that?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, it's not too bad. Not
All
too
right.
bad. I got a few games in on the most recent tournament,
All right.
but didn't have time to really get too much work done.
Okay.
But it's been fun. It's been fun.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Favorite Pokemon?
Oh, actually, here, let me ask you an easier one. What's your favorite starter?
My favorite starter out of every starter that's ever existed?
In Sword and Shield.
Oh, in Sword and Shield? Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of any of them.
Correct.
Yeah. I was a fan of what's the weird frog one? The water starter?
Is
Is it Grookey? No. Yeah?
Is it?
Or is that the other one? I don't know. I started with him, and then he turned into like this weird skydiving frog or something like that, and I got really confused.
Yeah.
And then just went with like just not having a starter Pokemon in my team from that point on. We've got a bit of a fight happening here as the Dawning Shadow does fly over the top of Scarlet. Eventually, BDD presses his Q button right on top of the Vigar's head, and he is going to die. And Gen.G continue their siege 5 versus 4, despite having BDD off towards the side. Yes?
Pokemon, Gen.G is sort of like the protagonist, and GCA is like Hop.
Oh,
This game, you know what I mean?
yeah, like just kind of depressingly not good enough. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. I kind of agree with you. As we see the fight breaking out, Jinx died before the fight even
it looks
started.
close.
And Ruler goes down relatively low, but he was never going to die. Rascal is now hunting for Slugger, shoots him with his sword gun, and gets him with his second R button. Really nicely done there from the top laner. But when you're 15-1 as far as the kill scores, it's 17 minutes into the game, and it's a 12,000 gold lead.
Well, they're trying to outdo SK Telecom here, Atlas. Okay, so that is exactly what's going on. But that being said, you're probably wondering, am I impressed with this game?
Yeah, I was. I was definitely impressed.
I'm not.
Sorry, I was definitely wondering that. And
There's
you're
one
never impressed. Okay, one death. Yeah, Rascal's
And
just
they lost a
inting.
turret.
Yeah, terrible.
So,
Yep, well,
Yeah.
there we are. Debbie Downer, stepping in. Thank you very much.
Debbie's not in this game.
Who's Debbie?
Darius.
Diana? Debbie's been...
Ooh,
if it's Diana,
Diana
then Debbie's
is-
been
yeah.
globally banned. We've got it. Because she doesn't want Debbie Downer to be in the KeSPA Cup. This is Christmas time, LS, all right?
All right.
There's no Debbies allowed.
All right.
Got to wait until LCK to start before that one happens. As this Gen.G squad looks really scary. But the thing that I'm trying to comprehend right now is what do we actually learn from a game where none of these players on GC Busan Ascension have any experience at all in LCK or in any league. Haven't even played for challenges. In most cases, most of these players have only really been considered pros even in the challenger level for a year tops. So what do we actually learn from Gen.G? Watching the play that they've demonstrated thus far, do you think it's been of top tier LCK caliber?
Well, I think that this is definitely on the side of an actual domination. Just because there's a Challenger Series level team or a third-tier level team, they call it Sambu in Korea, doesn't mean that they can't hold their own or make games go even or get through the build order phases of the game versus LCK teams. So even though that's obviously not what's happening, this is a complete blowout, it is a really good sign, obviously, if you are a Gen.G fan.
So going back to yesterday, we had KT that really struggled versus a KG ULSAN team that was, you know, they were like a lot of trainees for the Dragon X actually on that squad. However, they hadn't been playing at the top level or anything like that. They were able to put up a huge fight against KT throughout most of the early game. Do you think that we learn most about a team with a lot of experience and things like that, as we do have a bit of a siege? I might have to hold this point, as Event Horizon did land on Darula, but the Piercing Darkness is too much, and the ultimate flies through as well. So many low health bars. As there's a Springboard display of talent. Everyone's stuck underneath the turret. Triple kill for Ruler. The Quadra comes in the end. That's the ace, and that will be finally the game ending. My point was going to be that KT struggled to close out in the earlier stages, but Gen.G have demolished GCA as the clock ticks to 20 minutes. They are going to end this game. So far, the fastest game